I just finished uploading an audio, and now something else just occurred to me that I wanted to talk about. And I had this idea kind of pop in and out of my head for a while. I don't know how long this audio is going to be, but I wanted to like make a video or an audio called something along the lines of stupid things that prevent me from socializing. So like there's all these different there's all these different like stupid things that just prevent me from interacting properly with other people. And the first thing that came to mind just a minute ago that made me want to actually talk about this is that if I am in a loud environment or a crowded room or a room with certain I guess acoustics, or if I'm simply busy, like if I'm focused, or if I'm talking to one person, or if I'm in deep thought even, and someone tries to talk to me, or someone can even call out my name, I have this delay in like my mind receiving and processing that someone is speaking to me. Or sometimes I'm just not even aware that they're talking to me at all until like they yell my name louder. And it's really weird because well, actually, another thing that happens too is sometimes I'm not sure where a sound is coming from. And I don't know why it's like this, but like in the break room at my job, if somebody says, like, this happened twice actually, where somebody was calling my name and I didn't know where they were. I didn't know where the sound was even coming from. I could hear my name being called, and I looked around, and I like looked back and forth, and I couldn't tell who was calling for me, and it was just really weird, like, and embarrassing. And something I said, like, sometimes there's this delay. A delay where someone will like say something to me or call my name or something, and I hear them, but I don't, my mind doesn't consciously receive the signal that I'm being spoken to. So I hear the noise, but I just don't really receive it until like sometimes like up to like 30 seconds later. And then it's far too late and it just seems like I ignored somebody. But this is a real thing. And the weird thing about that is that sometimes I realize that somebody was talking to me um, when it's too late, and now it looks like it's like I've ignored them, and like it makes me seem more awkward than I am, when in reality it's just that I didn't receive the audio information properly. Um, Also, in general, I have a hard time understanding the words that people say sometimes, especially if it's a loud environment, or like even if some like it's not a loud environment. I don't know what it is, but I just have a hard time understanding people. Even if they're just speaking basic English, it's like but it got worse when I moved from the state that I grew up in when I was younger and came here because people here have a different accent than I do. And it became so hard to understand what people were saying. And I still have problems understanding what people are saying, even when they don't really have any accent that I can identify. And I don't really know why that is. I also have trouble understanding what people are saying on the phone, especially if it's somebody doing their job and they're trying to be professional and they've got like their voice on and they're doing this script. Like they might answer the phone, they'll be like, "Hey, blah, 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 blah. How can I help you?" It's like, I have no idea what you just said. Um, like I did work with this one job where I was answering the phone all the time, and it was embarrassing how much I had to ask people to repeat themselves. And it's just really stupid. It's like, how do I have this consistent issue that it truthfully like, I can't really like use a phone in any sort of professional or like work environment for this reason, because I just can't understand what people are saying. Um, and these hearing problems and these like audio processing problems, like this is only one thing. I've got like visual problems as well. Like one thing is oh gosh, this is horrible. There's a few different things. So unless if I'm looking directly at something, I just really won't see it. So like if I walk into a grocery store, unless if I look at the exact shelf and like look at the item, like and I specifically stare at it and like process it, I won't know like what's on the shelf. But some people will like walk into a place and they'll passively just see everything and like take note of all of it like mentally. But I just can't, I don't do things like that. Like I don't passively absorb visual information. So like somebody might, like say to me like, maybe if they're trying to give me directions, so they'll say like, "Oh, it's by the big green building." And it's like, I don't know what green building you're talking about, because number one, unless if I looked at the building specifically, I'm not going to know that it's a green building. But number two, actually another thing is that I'm mildly colorblind. So sometimes people will describe something as a certain color, and the color that I'm imagining in my head is a lot different from the color that I'm seeing. Like one time I had this pen at the job I had with the phones at, and I had the pen, like we had like many of these pens, and we I would often just hold like a pen and like fiddle with it. So for like, I don't know, like almost a year I was working at this place, I'm fiddling with these pens. And like at some point months in, like a little bit before I quit that job, I'm looking at this pen and I realize that it's not a brown pen like I thought it was. It's actually a red pen. So even things that are right in front of me for a long time, if somebody tries to describe something to me by its color, I often simply don't know what they're talking about. Or if I'm looking for something, like if I'm looking for something red and there's there's the orange things around, I'm not going to be able to find it very easily because I'm just mildly colorblind, especially depending on the lighting. Just because the way that the light can come off of the red object or like off the orange things, it can make things appear darker or lighter, just depending on the lighting. I went off on I kind of went off there back into the colorblind thing. I guess I'll keep going off, but I want to go round back to something. Um, if somebody is in their vehicle or they're like behind glass and there's a reflection on the glass, I like can't see the person. Like I swear I don't like other people can see through the transparent thing, the glass, even though it has this reflection on it. And they'll be like, "Oh, look, there's that person." And like they would know like if that person was picking their nose or something. But me, I would have to get up like right up to the glass and like block out the light that's causing the reflection and like look in. Otherwise, I'm just not going to be able to see. Like, and I don't understand how people can see like through car windows because I can't do it. It's so difficult. Like the lighting conditions have to be so specific for me to be able to see like who's in a vehicle or not. Um, and sometimes like it gets weird because like maybe I'll find myself like staring at the front of a car, and then I realize there's somebody in there, and I didn't even realize like, oh, it looks like I'm staring at that person. And to wind back to how I was saying, I don't really see things unless if I look directly at them. And my eyes, I kind of just am always looking around. Um, and on like, I I I don't know how. Excuse me. I don't know how to say this, but sometimes I will look at people in inappropriate places, and I wasn't doing it on purpose, and it wasn't a perverted thing, and it was definitely not intentional. It's just that my eyes are wandering, and like they look there for a second, and it's worse when people notice and they think that there was intention behind it, and there wasn't. And I will do that like for anybody. Like I just like will just look at people's like butts sometimes. Like whether they're a man or a woman, it's like it's just there. Like I'm just looking around at my world and your butt is in it. Like it wasn't on purpose and it's not a sexual thing. Like I really don't do that. I really don't like check people out like that. I used to when I was younger, but I don't do that anymore. Um, I guess like I've done that like a few times in the last year or something, but it's honestly been only a few times, and I really just don't do that, generally speaking. Um, and you shouldn't do that anyway. Um, now I feel guilty and I forget where I was going. Oh yeah, so like this other time, sometimes girls will just assume you're being perverted when you're not. When you're not. One time I was staring at the words on a girl's shirt from like across the room because it was like a sports shirt, and I get like I don't know, I was just like looking at it, and then I saw that she was like looking at me, and it was like, oh, she thought I was looking at her chest, and then she was just kind of like staring at me, and like I kind of like looked away, and I'm like, like I didn't know what to do or say because it's like I wasn't looking at your chest. I was looking at your shirt. But she was just like staring at me, and it's like um like I didn't even say anything because I didn't know what to do. Like I feel like if that happened today, I would say like, hey, I would like literally go up to that person and be like, I was not looking at your chest. But maybe that's not the right, like maybe that's just going to make things worse. I honestly don't know. So things like that happen, and then people think, like people will get like a bad impression because of things like that, right? Um, Something else that prevents me from socializing properly is just like my constant blushing and like getting red in the face for like almost any reason. Like I don't have to be embarrassed necessarily, but like sometimes it's just someone is talking to me and I don't want them to talk to me, and I can feel my face flush. And I think it's just like an overwhelming, like it's an overwhelming of emotion where I'm like feeling awkward and like trying to escape the conversation, and this person is talking to me and I'm like, I don't want to be in this. And so I'm like trying to mask and act normal, and like all this pressure is like just getting to me. And then of course sometimes I am just blushing because like if somebody's very pretty or something, I just can't I just can't handle it. Um and I've noticed like if I'm near a pretty person, I'm either basically going to blush or or I'm going to like if I just smile like and allow myself to smile, then it doesn't feel like I am. But I've also learned that just because it doesn't feel like I am, sometimes I'm still doing it and I don't realize it. Um, Also with the color blindness thing, um, I can't tell when other people are blushing quite as easily, unless if I like am really staring at their face, and sometimes I do that, and I've gotten a bit like I can recognize a bit better when people are blushing, but it basically has to be somebody who's lighter skinned, because I guess like people with darker skin can be seen blushing, but I cannot see it. I literally cannot see it. Um, and most of the time I can't see even when people with lighter skin are blushing. I literally cannot tell. And people call it going red, but it's actually more like a pink, or at least I think it is. Um, and it's just a very subtle color for me. Like it's not something I can see. And sometimes I'll be watching like a YouTube short or something, and all the comments will be like, "Oh, this person's blushing. Look at them blush." And it's like I will watch that video over and over again, and I literally cannot see the color in that person's face. And something else is I don't think I have never ever seen somebody like go pale. I literally don't know what that looks like to watch somebody go pale. Um, I remember like in some books they will describe like when somebody's feeling sick, like as they'll like describe that person as like turning green, or like if somebody holds their breath, I don't like maybe they like turn a bit blue. I literally don't know if those are real. Because I never ever perceive somebody's color changing depending on how they're feeling or like what's happening to them. I never ever perceive this because of my color blindness. So I don't know how much information I'm missing out on that would cue me in and like hint things to me. So that's like something that's really stupid that prevents me from like interpreting people's moods correctly and their actions and like their reactions, and thus prevents me from socializing like everybody else does, because it's like I've got this huge blind spot where I can't see this color and other people can see it. Um, the next thing that comes to mind is that prevents me from socializing right is my lack of energy and fatigue and burnout that I get just by interacting with people. And sometimes some people will actually leave me feeling better, like, or they won't like take away from my energy. Or like they'll either, some, very rarely people will give me more energy, or they'll like just leave it where it is if I interact with that person. But it's a very rare thing, and there's like really been only like a few people who I can say for sure um, have done that for me. Um, but the vast majority of all people I have ever met, whether it's family or just like people I work with or even friends, if I'm interacting with them, it's just kind of like a drain on my energy, and it gets to the point where I just have to separate from them, or like I have to stop talking or get some alone time, or just stop responding so much or go nonverbal because I simply can't continue. Um, and honestly, I think that my personal interpretation of it has been that I don't think that people are interacting with me in a way that favors me. I think that they're just trying to have things go their way, whereas I think I kind of give to people in interactions most of the time instead of like taking, if that makes sense. And I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like um I don't know. It's like the normal people, and especially like neurotypical people, I'll have a hard time with. But even people who like I know are autistic, um, or I'm pretty sure who are autistic, some of them, um, are like a huge drain on me. And that's why I said in my one of my last audios that I don't belong here. You know, there like I am definitely a neurodivergent, but there's like something more to it that I can't figure it out. Because then I feel like I would, like, I do get along with people who are autistic better than neurotypical people, and just generally neurodivergent people like ADHD or anything like that, better than I get along with neurotypical people. But there's still oftentimes like a drain where I'm just losing energy. Um, and I think it's just a lot of it's just like this weariness, because a lot of the times I'm masking, or like there's just a lack of connection, so it's not really fulfilling in any way. And since it's not fulfilling in any way, like it doesn't bring me any satisfaction, then it's simply a net negative interaction. And I can have a lot of these, just net negatives. And like a lot of people, like, they will socialize and have fun just doing that. But I just don't. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like people have an actual real interest in others that I lack. So like people will ask, "How are you?" And they actually care, and like they want you to describe and like talk about your day and like yourself and what's been going on. Like they truthfully, genuinely want that. But I don't really want to do that, and I don't care how the other person is doing, as long as they're not suicidal or something, or they're not like feeling terrible. Like, if they're doing fine, then I really don't care like to hear about it, and I don't want to ask. And I don't really care what they did last weekend or anything like that. But many people actually do genuinely care And it's just hard to imagine. It's like, I don't even know what to make of that. I honestly don't. Because I don't care about like how other people, like a lot of things other people care about and like what they talk about. I honestly don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to even say. So that's like one thing that also prevents me from socializing properly is just that I don't really have like the desire to. I don't have like the satisfaction from it, and I don't really like care. It's like that's a big one. I just don't really even like care. And that's so weird. Something else is yeah, I mean like if I don't really I never really socialize just to socialize. Every now and then I've done that, but it just doesn't really work for me, especially not long term. Um, and it's something that guess I've kind of practiced more and more. Like, but somebody's kind of had to lead me into it, I guess. And I don't even really know what it is that I'm lacking because I simply don't have it. But other people notice and I know that they do because they'll comment on like how I'm a quiet person. And I know that I'm a quiet person because they tell me that. But I'm not sure like what they're expecting, what they would expect, because I don't have that within me for it to come out. Um, and it's like what comes out to people is just not what they're expecting from me until they get to know me a bit better. Then they kind of get a bit more used to it. Um, but like they don't like they feel like something's off, and like I just don't have within me what other people have within them. So what comes out is just different. Um, which leads to like people misinterpreting my actions, at least until they get to know me a bit better. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a bunch of stuff that it just prevents me from socializing properly. Like, and it's just a bunch of stupid stuff, isn't it? Like, it's all just, like all of it's dumb. And there's other stuff that also does that's not really dumb, but that's the dumb stuff that stops me from socializing. And I think there's probably like more things. Um, I don't really know what else to say though. Like I kind of I've said it pretty much all. Um, like something else is what's really important is like a sense of humor and like sharing senses of humor, because the reason that people's senses of humor whenever they line up, it's because those two people think in similar ways. So if you don't share a sense of humor with people, it's basically because your brain is working or like your experiences are different, and just like you function and think differently. And I really don't share like a sense of humor with a lot of people. Um, so like that's a really big sign. Like people will say like they want like like if they're talking about getting a life partner, they'll say they want that person to share a sense of humor with them. And that seems like something that's shallow, but it's really not. Um, because it's so important that somebody that you're trying to connect with, you can connect with them, like that you like think similarly enough to them. Like it's not that they have to be, like your clone or anything. And it's not necessarily that they have to share your sense of humor, but it makes a lot of sense. Like you would probably want friends that you share a sense of humor with them, probably. Um, and like that would just bring so much more joy to your life. But that's actually another thing. It's like if I don't share a sense of humor with people, then then anytime they're making a joke, which people joke all the time, and I joke all the time. Like everybody jokes all the time. When they're socializing or making an effort to. It all just falls flat. Like if you just don't share a sense of humor, it just falls flat, and then you don't really connect. And I guess that's where I'm going to end that audio because I need to go to sleep.